Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We are doing the boss tier list. Finally. I've been looking forward to doing this ever since I played the first couple bosses. And I've been ready to do this for a while. I'm ready to rank these bosses. I'm gonna get some music going real quick before we before we get into it. Alright, so who should I rank first? I'll start with some of the mini bosses first. Alright, we'll start with the regular old Shadow Guard. Yeah, that's how we'll gauge it. We'll start with him, put him there. This purple armored Shadow Guard wasn't very tough. He has some force abilities that are very limited. He just has really a force grab and some aggressive swing with his lightsaber pike. Not very tough. The Shadow Guard boss. This one I definitely put in B rank. This one is definitely a little tougher. Not as tough as some of the actual bosses, but he's still up here. He's right here. I put him in B. And you know you're trash if you're going into D rank. D rank, both these Shadow Guards are in D rank. The red one just has a stronger force grab than him, and I think he has a force push. He has force grab. These three are different. This one is usually the boss in the fight. He has a bigger health bar. He has all their powers: the aggressive swing, the force grab, the force push, everything. He just has an aggressive swing. He has the aggressive swing and a force push. He has multiple powers. Gosh. Yeah, I'm putting him in C rank. I'm thinking of the first fight when you go to Cloud City and you find Coda. He's pretty easy to deal with after that. But if I'm going after the Coda fight, he'd be in C. But yeah, I'm gonna keep things like this. I like that. Alright, so let's do some non-force users before we get to the actual meat and potatoes of this. Let's do the Wookiee killer. Yeah. In my opinion, if you need help in your boss fights, are you really a boss? A lot of these guys needed some help, but no more than the captain, the Wookiee hunter. He just wasn't a very good boss. He was pretty easy to deal with. After you take out all the stormtroopers and all the Shadow Guard that are around him, he's pretty simple to deal with. He just has one cool animation that's different from any other AT-AT that you deal with. Who would be next? I'm gonna say Boba Fett for a little bit. Between the Rancors, let's go with Jabba's Rancor. Jabba's Rancor, I'm gonna put him also in C. He's just a regular Rancor you'd run into on Felucia, except he just has a bigger health bar than all those guys. Nothing really special to him other than he's Jabba's. Now let's go with the Bull Rancor. Now this thing was tough. This thing scared me, and it didn't help that Maris right here, Maris Brood, was helping it out throughout most of the fight. She was helping that thing out. So based on that and the fact that he was tough, gosh, compared to all the other Rancors and Maris Brood, I'll put him in. He's my first A rank. I'll put him in A rank because he was way tougher than Maris Brood, in my opinion, at least. Because when it came down to the boss fight, if it wasn't for her, I would destroy him easily. And the same thing can be said for her, because she was also in the boss fight. But after I dealt with him, she was pretty easy to deal with. So I would say that after the whole boss fight with him, she was pretty easy to deal with because she didn't have his assistance anymore, or he wasn't my main focus. So I would put her in B, because she was not very tough after I got rid of him. So put her in B. Who's next? Who is next? We'll go with the last non-Force user, I think, on this list. We'll go with Boba Fett. Boba Fett's B. Boba Fett's cool. He had a lot of good abilities, but, you know, you're taking on Dark Starkiller, the Dark Apprentice. You're not going to do well against him. And the fact that he did such a good fight against me in the first place is, like, commendable, and I think he's better than these guys, for sure. Moving on from him, let's go with the opening boss battle. Put him in C. You're fighting him as Darth Vader. Obviously, the guy's gonna lose. Darth Vader specializes in hunting down and killing Jedi, like this guy. He was so weak, in fact, to Darth Vader. Darth Vader asked, "Where's your master at?" And he's like, "You killed my master a long time ago." And then it turns out to be his son. His son is stronger than him, and he doesn't even have any, like, I don't even think any formal training at that point. So the fact that he dealt with him and it was like, "Where's your kid at?" You know, it says a lot. So we'll put him in C. Next we should do Cassian Perez. Cassian Perez is a decent boss. The fact that he's controlling a lot of those robots with the Force, and the fact that when you do fight him, he is tricky. He is tricky. He will avoid you. He will go in all kinds of certain places, and once you get him to certain points, he will bring in those giant basically Force machines, and it's tough. He's a tough boss battle. Who's next? Let's go with Old Ben. Old Ben has 2 phases. Him alive and his Force Ghost. And him alive was really tough. You can tell that, you know, that was Old Ben Kenobi. That was the guy in the desert that was like, "I'm ready. I'm protecting Luke. I'm gonna be a tough fight." His Force Ghost, on the other hand, was not very tough. I just basically ragdoll him the whole time. It's like after he lost his physical body, he lost all of his defense as well. Yeah, not a very tough fight. Phase 1, tough. Phase 2, not so tough, which is really weird because usually it's the opposite. Usually Phase 2 is stronger than Phase 1, but I didn't think so. Alright. Next we'll go with the Dark Apprentice. This was the DLC, my first DLC boss. Yes, okay. So, it's basically you with all your abilities. You're fighting yourself, all your abilities. He has a teleport. He has crazy movesets that I didn't even know you could use in the game. It's actually how I learned a couple more combos before I fought Luke. And as soon as I got done fighting him, I was like, man, there's more combos. So, yeah, I put him in A. He was a tough boss. Should go with the second boss, General Coda. General Coda. He's definitely not B tier. He would be an S tier, but he's not S tier. I'll put him in A. He's another A tier boss. Okay, he has some really good combat skills. If I had fought him in a higher difficulty, like, I bet he would have been much tougher. Like, I want to go replay the game, and I know he was the second opening. Well, the first opening to Starkiller, but the second opening boss. And he was tough, man. We'll go with our first S tier boss, Darth Maul. This dude killed me so many times. I can't tell you. I think he beat me 19 times, 20 times when I was playing on the highest difficulty at that time. Sith Lord, Sith Master, whatever difficulty it was. he wrecked me. I know it's like proxy or whatever, but that was Darth Maul 100%. Like, just absolute menace. I could not beat him. I had to go full like unleashed. I couldn't let up for a minute or else he would get me. Next is Darth Vader. So I did 2 playthroughs with Darth Vader. I did the one where you choose the light side, where you just go fight Palpatine, and then I did the dark side version, where you go and you say, you know what, Coda, whatever, I'm gonna go fight and kill Darth Vader. You go kill Darth Vader. They're much different. So when you're done with him and you go to fight the Emperor, the boss battle, that one, I put here. When you just defeat Vader and walk over to save Coda, I put him there. However, if this is Vader fighting for his life and you choose to go fight him over saving Coda, S tier for sure. That's when he's fighting for his life, and that's when, like, that's it. But, you know, I did play the DLC though, so I did play both. You know what, S tier. Vader is S tier. Alright. Shock T. You're welcome. Everybody is welcome. Shock Bay. Shock T. Shock T was one of those bosses that, you know, was tough. And the thing is, if she had fought me alone, she'd be S tier for sure. I would put her up here. Absolutely. She was very tough. However, she had backup, which to me drops you a tier if you're a boss. If you're a boss and you have backup, I'm sorry, you go down. It's just how it is. Palpatine. Palpatine's one of those cases where he would have been here. He would have been here with his 2 apprentices. I didn't even realize I was doing that. With the 2 apprentices, Maul and Darth Vader. But because he had backup from his shadow guards, and the fact that for some reason in this version he fought me with the Force instead of a lightsaber, which makes me think that the Wii versions of when I used to play back in the day, I can't really remember because I had the PS2 and the Wii version. Because he had backup, sorry Sheev, you're down here. Alright. The final boss, the last boss battle. Luke Skywalker. Let's be honest here, he has 3 phases. And they just get more and more difficult. So if it was phase 1, he'd be in C. Phase 2, a little tougher, he'd be in B. Now, there's a part of it that's fallen Luke Skywalker. The last phase in that boss battle, where I put him up here. Because he has red force lightning. He's using force push, force repel, force grab. He's got the same thing as Coda, where he just has this big lightsaber slam that sends everybody flying. He has a lightsaber throw that is blockable like Coda's, but you gotta be really, really on top of it when he throws it. So if I were to even them out, I would definitely put him right about here next to the Emperor. Yeah, I like the way that looks. I'm gonna do some cleaning up though to make sure like everyone sees that it's correct where the bosses are. Alright, I'm back. I did some cleaning up, so I decided to do this where it's like S, 1, 2, 3, like that. So going down the list is how I rank them difficulty wise. So S1 is Darth Maul, S2 is Vader, S3 is Palpatine. So I decided to move Palpatine back up to S. I know I said before that he had help from his Shadow Guards, but it didn't make much of a difference. There was parts in there where I'm just getting wrecked by him, by himself, and basically, actually, these guys came in and helped me because I defeated them so easily. They gave me health. So if anything, they helped me more than they helped him. But yeah, and then I put Shock T in A1. She was tough. I think she was a little tougher than Luke, even though she only had like 2 phases in her fight. Old Ben, 2 phases. Spot 3. Dark Star Killer, 1 phase, 1. Coda had 2 phases though, but that's only when you get him like to half health. Cass Imperatus, not much to talk about. Bull Rancor and her. I decided to put him in front of her because, like I said before, he was tougher when they were both tougher when they were together, but after you defeat him, she's pretty simple to deal with. Boba Fett by himself, honestly. I thought about putting him lower, but I thought that'd be disrespectful because I think he can honestly take all these bosses, even the Rogue Jedi and the Shadow Guard. And these guys, I don't need to talk about. These guys are all pretty much, you know, pretty low tier. So that is my tier list. I hope you enjoyed it. Down below, let me know, where would you rank these guys? Do you think I did a good job? Do you think that, you know, Darth Maul isn't the top boss in this game? Do you think it's Palpatine? Do you think it's Vader? Do you think it's anybody else on this list? Comment down below, let me know. And until next time, see you guys.